It's just a great movie.
An essential. Great film, really a great film. I don't think anybody on film ever portrayed angst, confusion, and torment better than Marlon Brando, more honestly, without grandstanding it or doing anything. It just, you could just see the turmoil inside him, and subtly, but you knew it was there.
He trusts things in a way where he makes choices in this performance that are the best choices ever made on screen, in their subtleties and in their internalizations. He creates this character, Terry Malloy, that just becomes, you know, an icon himself.
Mm-hmm. And you knew that it was Frank Sinatra first signed for the film.
That's right.
Well, they wanted Brando, and Brando couldn't do it or wouldn't do it, and then Sinatra signed for it, and then Brando decided he could do it, and they fired Sinatra, and he filed a lawsuit against it and everything. It would have been, he was a wonderful actor,
yeah.
Frank Sinatra, but it would have been a different movie altogether. It's so proven. There's certain actor-director teams that work particularly well together. I certainly think that Kazan and Brando were one of those things, because those three films that they did together, and of course also worked together on stage, but
yep.
The Streetcar Named Desire and Viva Zapata and On the Waterfront are, you know, it's the fact of the trust between the actor and the director knowing what the actor has and demanding it and getting it. I just think it's quite extraordinary.
Well,
to
you
work
were
together.
Talking about, you know, what makes, you know, how amazing it is when everything comes together and makes these wonderful movies. And I think it is those relationships, and it is that relentlessness. And one of the stories I loved from this was one night Bud Schulberg was in his bathroom, and his wife came in and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm driving into the city to kill Sam Spiegel," who was the producer, who kept pounding on him to get the script tighter. And I think that's something that, you know, is essential in itself to make a good film. And when you hear the stories about Kazan and Brando, you know, thinking about every single scene and every single line,
yeah,
and every detail of what would and would not exist for this character, you know, it's that type of relentlessness and passion that goes into every detail, and that tightness, that focus that I think makes something come together so brilliantly. Yeah. It's just such a perfect film.
Yeah, it really is. An essential.
It's an essential essential.
Absolutely. Well, let's see what we have for next week. Take a look at the essential we have coming up next week. The Champ, 1931.
One of the things I love most about this film is the parent-child dynamic, in which the child is really the parent.
Even at the age of only 9, Jackie Cooper gives one of the really great performances on screen.
This is a very masculine story, but written by a woman.
Great credit for this movie goes not only to the actors and to the writer, but also the man who directed it, King Vidor. From 1931, The Champ. That's next Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can find out more at tcm.com. Thanks for joining us for The Essentials.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, James Darren gets mixed up with racketeers during A Rumble on the Docks. Then Broderick Crawford goes undercover to take on the mob. And Dennis Morgan can't keep his fists to himself along the waterfront.
Gregory